they are really good at also figuring you out and your motive. You know, Cancer does that emotionally and Aries does that, I feel like, spiritually. They're very, very good at like reading people's intentions, like what motivates you, you know, and that's Mars energy. Mars is all about like the things that motivate you, what makes you act out like that. So Aries being ruled by Mars is really good at reading you, and obviously Cancer being ruled by the moon is very good at reading you and your emotions and your intentions. So it's a very, very interesting and heated matchup. Girl Sarah.
And Maya.
And we're charmed and dangerous.
Oh, you know, because we be charming.
And we dangerous. And we charming.
And we dangerous. And we charming.
And we dangerous. Alright, we are back with a Zodiac Standoff, which I feel like we haven't done one of these in so long. These were like, honestly, the beginning of like our astrology energy on our channel. I just remember being like, we should do like signs that have the same energy but in like different ways, and we just came up with so many different ones.
I'm very excited for this matchup. I must truly say.
I know, me too.
The way that both of these signs go in,
they do,
and go to bat for other people around them, but also for themselves too. You know what I mean? Like, they will do anything to protect themselves and the people that they love most.
I absolutely agree. I feel like both of these signs aggressively protect what's theirs. You know, Cancer, you know, fears their safety that they've worked so hard to build being taken away from them. So they'll do everything to protect that. And Aries is obviously ruled by Mars. So, you know, they're the lone soldier of the Zodiac. They will be the ones that are in the front lines, protecting themselves, protecting the people around them. On the offense, really. Not like defending, like they're like, if you got a problem, say it now. And like, nobody has said that they have a problem. But they just want to make it known that like they got that energy. You know, and like they are really good at also figuring you out and your motive. You know, Cancer does that emotionally and Aries does that, I feel like, spiritually. They're very, very good at like reading people's intentions, like what motivates you, you know, and that's Mars energy. Mars is all about like the things that motivate you, what makes you act out like that. So Aries being ruled by Mars is really good at reading you, and obviously Cancer being ruled by the moon is very good at reading you and your emotions and your intentions. So it's a very, very interesting and heated matchup.
And can I also say that both of these signs, they love so hard, and they fall very quickly, and I feel like, you know, when you love hard, you want to protect just as hard, right? Both of these signs are very family oriented, and with that cardinal energy, I really feel like they both lead with their hearts, right?
Absolutely.
And they wouldn't be doing something that they didn't feel for, or they felt like there was a real purpose, you know? Like, they are fighting and protecting with intention for both of them. And Cancer, yes, obviously, like we've said, you know, Cancer protects their family, their friends, and obviously their lovers. But to me, like, they can be initially more reserved on the exterior, you know, and like they can be shy, but when it comes time, they will pop out and defend, you know, and protect. And kind of like you just said, I think you hit the nail on the head. I feel like Cancers are more, they'll come in on like the defense, like when I need to, you know, but Aries comes in like, what's up? Who needs it? Who wants it? And that's the different energy of the two. Both of them will fight you to the death, but how they come in is very different. I feel like Aries, being that fire sign, comes in very loud and in charge, and the water sign will come in more quietly, you know, a little bit more like, maybe even more sneaky at times, you know?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I feel like also both Aries and Cancer, they don't trust people's intentions easily. And they have a reputation of being aggressive and reactive, both of these signs. Their emotions will get the best out of them if they feel like you're trying to burst into their bubble, their bubble of privacy. And you know, Cancer is good at playing that fake game, you know, of getting to know you. Oh, they're so interested, they're so sweet. So people always assume Cancer likes them because Cancer is so sweet. When it's really that Cancer knows that if they have a chance of, you know, manipulating you, it's better that they do that by learning more about you and pretending to be your friend. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how it goes. That's just, you tend to share more with people that are really nice to you. You know, you open up that, you kind of break down that wall when someone's being really, really interested in you and your life. And Cancer is such a chatty Cathy.
Oh yes.
That you can't help but feel like, oh my God, they're so sweet. They love me. Aries, on the other hand, will use their intimidation tactics to keep you at arm's length. You know, they want you to be so scared that you don't even think about getting that close.
Yes.
You know, like, they come off very, very aggressive from the front.
Yeah.
So, you know, you could just tell that they're protecting something from the way both of them are acting.
Yes.
But with Cancer, it's hard to tell. But when you know astrology, when you know Cancer energy, you're like, oh, I know why you're doing that.
Yeah.
Because you want to make sure you know people.
Exactly. And you know, Cancers too, you kind of alluded to it earlier, like they're such sensitive creatures, so they want to protect the things that make them feel comfortable.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they will do anything to make sure that they can keep that safe space because they are such, I mean, they're water signs. They like comfort. They like to reminisce, you know? Yeah. And if you are coming in trying to get in between that is when Cancer really gets activated.
Right.
And it's funny because to me, like Aries, like they are very physical in the sense of how they want to protect. You know what I mean? Like, yes, obviously fighting, but they'll also show up for you in the sense like, okay, they'll drive you somewhere to make sure that you get there safely, you know? And not to say that Cancer doesn't do that, but I feel like they more like to protect and nurture within the home. And Aries likes to protect and kind of like build on the outside, if that makes sense. And those are the two biggest differences to me. Yeah.
I feel like both of them are so sensitive, and people don't really take Aries' sensitivity as seriously as they do Cancer's. Like, Aries is the baby of the zodiac. Like, they're the first sign of the zodiac. They're the ones that are putting, like I said, putting themselves in the front line, so they're getting hurt more. They're used to being the guinea pig. They're used to standing in front of you and doing something first so you don't get hurt. And of course, Cancer, being such the intuitive that they are, they read the room. They make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into as their loved one. Like, they go out of their way to do that work for you, so you're never put in a position where you're uncomfortable. You know?
Oh, and both of these signs too are so intuitive. They are very good at reading the room of like, oh, you don't feel safe right now?
Yeah.
Like, I felt the energy shift.
Right.
Something changed, you know?
They're reading you.
Right, and they're like, oh, okay, what's going on here? And I love that they both do check in with their partners, with their friends, with their family, whoever in that moment, to always make sure you good, right? Because they remind you that, you know, you are their main concern in that time.
No, so true. You know, when I think of Cancer, I think of the saying, keep your enemies close. You know, Cancer is really good at that. And when I think of Aries, I think of the saying, if you can't stand the heat, stay out of the kitchen. You know what I mean? Like, they're both so aggressive in that way. Because keep your enemies close is pretty aggressive. Yeah. You are going out of your way to keep the people you don't trust super close to you. Exactly. And with Aries, is like, you know what you were getting yourself into. So if you're trying to be friends with me, you're going to pass some tests. Just like Scorpio would.
Right.
You know? So, like, if that doesn't show how protective they are, their nature, like, why else would they be doing all of this? You know, keeping their enemies close, letting people know not to fuck with them all the time, even though, like, they're just cooking in the kitchen. It has nothing to do with you. They're like, stay out the kitchen.
Right.
So I just think, it's really funny.
No, it is really funny. I feel like confrontation is both of their things.
Yeah,
you know, you may not think that about a Cancer because, again, they're initially maybe a little reserved or shy when you first meet them, but when you really know a Cancer,
I just have to say, all the Cancers are probably like, confrontation, me. That's because you guys black out after you have a confrontation. You guys go all the way and you say the most foul shit below the belt, and like, they never remember it. And it's like, truly, I've said this before on this channel, some of the foulest shit that has ever happened to me, that has ever been said to me, came from the mouth of a Cancer, man and woman. Like, you know what I mean? So like, if people think that Cancers don't have it in them, they do. And if you're a Cancer, you're like, I don't do that. You blacked out, baby. You did.
Correct. And then also maybe lucky for you, what, people have just always been nice your whole life? I highly doubt that. Cancers also have, you know, a little bit of like rage within them. So it's going to burst out at some point. Aries always gets that title, but like Cancer, you coming for them.
No,
for that title.
Why do you think Mars in Cancer is one of the weakest Mars placement? because it's that passive aggressive anger of like, I feel so much, but I can't say it, so I'm gonna do it in another way.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I also know that, you know, Cancer and Aries pride themselves on being the most protective friend, lover, family member, since they're both cardinal signs. They're actively protecting you, kind of like Maya was saying, you know, calling people out, fighting people, setting boundaries, cutting people off, and honestly embarrassing them for you. They have done all these things, and they will do all those things because truly to them, that's how they're showing their love to you.
Yes. Yes. You know, I've completely forgotten, we haven't said the word yet. They're both possessive as well. In their forms of protection, you know?
And impulsive.
Yes.
Super impulsive.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And I feel like both of those energies are really in benefit when someone is trying
on your
to,
side.
yes, you know, and protecting you. You know what I mean?
You want them on your side. You want them on your motherfucking side.
Yes, but also too, like, you know, you want to be aware of like, okay, so if you have Aries or Cancer people in your life, like they may think that they're protecting you, but they're actually like dominating or overwhelming the situation and keeping you from like other things. So like, just beware of that too, you know, because it can get to a negative. It can come from a negative, not always good place from them. Like it could be coming from such a desperation place of security. Yeah. And that isn't good.
Yeah.
Right?
And if you are a Cancer or Aries, I also want you to check on why you're doing this for people. Do they deserve it?
Yes.
And if they do, maybe, you know, challenge yourself to fine tune how much of your energy you're giving to these situations. I'm not saying stop because that's not possible for you. But I do think that, I've said this before, sadly in life, I say this as a Mars rule person, you will be taken more seriously if you can calm down and use your words in a more calm manner. I'm not saying the words gotta be pretty.
You can still come with that aggression,
yeah, you can definitely use the right verbiage to disrespect the fuck out of them. And I encourage you to do so, but don't raise your voice, don't get all heated, don't be fighting, you know what I mean, actually, physically. Yeah. A lot more can get done, is what I'm trying to tell you.
There are other ways to bring on intimidation rather than like, you know, physically and like cussing at people or like yelling at them.
Exactly.
You know? Which is also scary in its own way, don't get me wrong. But, you know.
Absolutely. And you know, all in all, we always end these videos with who is the most protective. Yes. And I'm gonna go with Aries. I feel like Aries doesn't back down and they use their naturally aggressive nature as fuel for the fight. Yes. Cancer is right up there with Aries, but that little time you spent crying, Aries got ahead of you. Right.
I'm hollering. I also picked Aries. I feel like they love the responsibility of protecting and providing for people, you know? Yeah. To them, there's no limits. Another key part is that I feel like Cancers, you know, they protect people who they like choose, right? Like it's a slim few. For Aries, I feel like it's a little bit more expanding. Yeah. If that makes sense. Like they will be willing to protect anybody, the next like Joe Schmo on the street. And Cancer isn't necessarily down to ride in that way unless they're riding for you. That's true. You know? They mind their business. Exactly. Aries makes everybody's business their business. Exactly. So there's also a negative side of that. Yes. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching our Zodiac Standoff of Aries and Cancer, who's most protective. Make sure you comment down below on who you think is the most protective sign. Yeah. Okay? I'm dying to know. No, seriously. And give us the points. Yes. We're gonna link our socials somewhere around here. We love you so, so much. Have a great week. We'll catch you next time. Bye.